Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host, and I'm so happy to be here. You are listening live to 12radio.com. It is the 29th of August at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Or if you're listening to an archive or a replay, I want to welcome you to the show. I want to let you know we're over in the chat room. You can find it by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number 1, number 2, radio.com. And click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. And I am also broadcasting this via Facebook Live, this event, through the Facebook chat. So you can find that as well right there in the chat room. So if you just scroll down, you'll see the Facebook Live. And I think that's kind of fun. I like to be able to look at you guys, or, well, what I perceive as you guys. Or let you look at me, I guess. Anyway, so, and I also always upload the broadcast over to my YouTube channel after the show, and that's Domestic Mystic on YouTube. So lots of ways to connect today, and I hope to see you guys here. It is one of my favorite shows of the month. It is Animal Communication Day, so we're going to do all things animals today. So I'm telling you that now, and then we'll get into our regular segments, and then we'll hit the animal spectrum. Now, I would love it if you want to put some guys show up into the chat with your pictures of all of your fur babies, and I love it. We always get some kitties and some dogs and sometimes some birds, some chickens. Well, chickens are birds, I'm aware of that, but different kinds of birds, I guess. Okay. At any rate, I'd love to see your babies in the chat room, and we'll definitely be talking about the animals. All right. Well, first of all, happy full moon. It's now past, but man, I think that the full moon energy resonated for days. I think it might still be resonating through me, so I think we'll still say happy full moon. I want to let you guys know that we are on sale today over at 12listen.com. So this is a good day if you are needing a little reading, some energy work, some balancing, a cheerleader, a slap on the tush, whatever. Come over and see me at 12listen. I'll be there for the rest of the day after the show. We'll see what we can do to get you going. All right, well, first of all, let's take a look at the magazine. As you know, I have a magazine that comes out early in the week, every week, with articles from myself and from many of my colleagues over at 12listen.com. And it's a fun compilation of work that we do together. I'm going to put a link to it in the chat room, but you can also find it by heading over to katie-weaver.com and looking for the tab that says Katie's Magazine. You'll see a cover of the magazine there. Just click on it and you'll be taken right to the pages. So easy enough, but I always like to draw your attention there. This will be our last week of our Happy Sunflower cover. I'm not going to lie, I've been excited for fall to do fall covers because there's so many beautiful covers. I think will be really fun for that reason. So yeah, next week we get to have a brand new cover. I called this the Spirit in Everything edition because this is a really spiritual week. I feel like the full moon really ushered it in, but the onset of fall, I think, helps with that as well. But it is a week of feeling spiritual, of feeling connected to spirit, or of feeling a need to reconnect to spirit. You might go both ways. Maybe one day is different from the other, honestly, but pardon me. Ultimately, that's what this week is all about. And there's a lot of good articles in here that will help you kind of get on that path. So I have to tell you, Scott and I drove up into the mountains, and you guys know I live in Idaho and surrounded by mountains, kind of in a valley, and frequently we'll go to the mountains for various things, you know, and last week we decided to go looking for bear root. Now bear root it's also known as Osha. Osha, I usually call it Osha actually, but Osha root is a root that only grows above 6,000 feet in very specific places, and it's a really highly sought after herb, like in medicine, in like herbal medicine or indigenous medicine, as well as in plant magic. And the Osha, because it's incredibly protective. But as far as medicine or wildcrafting medicine is concerned, it's used to stave off respiratory illness in the winter. And for as long as I can remember, my uncle always goes into the mountains in the fall and digs it. He knows where it is because he had some mountain men and native friends take him and show him where you can find it. And he used to always dig it and bring home, I mean, one big root will service an entire family easily. And you don't over harvest OSHA because you take the whole root. And so when it's gone, it's gone. And of course it's repopulating itself, but it is a plant that cannot be grown in like a commercial setting. You can't just, depending on where you live, obviously, but it basically has to grow in the forest in very specific places, like near aspen trees and near water and above 6,000 feet. And even then it's very hard to find and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we were on the hunt because my uncle is elderly, and I'm afraid that it won't be long and we won't be able to get OSHA from him any longer. And it's time for us to learn where to get it ourselves. And so, but he's not telling. This is like your favorite fishing hole. He's not telling. So at any rate, Scott and I have done eons of research, and we've tried many times. So we took another stab at it, took a long drive in the mountains looking for OSHA, but also looking for blue elderberries, looking for rose hips, you know, looking for things because we do wildcraft some of our medicine for the fall. Then it's time. So anyway, we were driving around in the mountains. It was absolutely lovely. A nip in the air, definitely feels folly up in the higher elevations. We came across a wild turkey mama that had easily at least six like juvenile babies chasing her around. And that was probably the highlight of my day, was watching this mama running through the forest with all of these little babies on her heels, and they're all just chittering and talking to her. And oh my gosh, you guys, I wish I could bottle it. That was the cutest, most joyful, happy thing I've ever seen. Anyway, so that was the great part. We didn't find any OSHA. We're still skunked. I'm just gonna have a real talk with the old man and see if he will finally let it go and understand that I can share his reverence for the land and that I would never share his spot. I just want it for my family, that's all. Anyway, so the way you use OSHA, in case you're curious, is you take the root and you chop it, or you kind of pulverize it. My dad used to use a meat grinder and run it through a meat grinder, and it has a really strong scent. Some people call it wild celery. It kind of has a celery-ish scent. I think it smells like my cedar chest times a million, or like cedar oil, cedar essential oil. Really strong, and it tastes horrific, but it's good for you, like all horrific tasting things are. So, except for Tide Pods, they're not. Anyway, that's a story for another day, right? Anyway, so you pulverize it, and then you put it in a bottle of, you put it in a glass jar, and then completely cover it in vodka, and then put it on a shelf and shake it, cover it of course, put it on a shelf and shake it every day for a month, and then you strain out the OSHA, and then the vodka remaining is your OSHA tincture, and you take a dropper full of that every day in the winter so that you don't get pneumonia or don't get any other respiratory illnesses. And it works really well, but it does taste really bad. It has to go in a I usually do it in a shot glass of juice, like a shot glass of orange juice, and even then it's terrible, but it's a tiny little bit, so it's worth it. But anyway, that's how it's done, in case you're curious. But so no OSHA for this guy. But we did get the wild turkey babies, so you know, it's a trade-off. Okay, moving on to the Domestic Mystics Daily Dish. The Daily Dish, of course, I write for you guys. I write it on Mondays, or it comes out on Mondays, and it is a daily postcard over on my Instagram, which is Domestic Mystic on Instagram. But you can also find it on my fan page here on Facebook, which is Katie Weaver, Domestic Mystic. So we'll just start with Wednesday, and I'll give you a little heads up for the rest of the week. So starting with Wednesday, Mother Nature is calling. Make plans to spend some time outside today. This is a perfect day to be at one with the natural world. Take a walk or a hike. sit with a tree, work in your yard, or maybe even spend some time beautifying or cleaning up trash and debris. So a perfect time to go outside. And Scott and I are going to pick choke cherries, so perfect. I'm going to try, incidentally, I used to make cherry cordial with our pie cherries every summer, and then I'd let it steep until Christmas time, and then I'd bottle it in fancy little bottles and give them away as Christmas gifts. And it was this fancy, wonderful, little treat at Christmas. And our cherry trees died a few years ago, sadly. They were really old, and they got choked out by other trees. But anyway, so we haven't had cherry cordial in years, and I was reading up on the medicinal properties of choke cherries because I like to make choke cherry syrup. And as it turns out, you can make choke cherry cordial that is apparently amazing. And I'm dying to do it. So I also want to make a gallon of choke cherry vinegar. So I'll let you know how both of those turn out. All right, Thursday, there are positive changes rolling out in your relationships, particularly romantic ones, but friendships as well. Better boundaries, stronger communication, and true vulnerability is possible today and moving forward. Friday, you may find a role of leadership dropped in your lap today. It could be at work, in your community, or at home. While you may not have been looking for this opportunity, it is still a good chance for you to show what you can do. Don't forget to drum up some teamwork and support. Saturday, an old vexing situation in your life changes meaning for you today as you see it through different eyes. Years, life experience, and spiritual growth have all led you to this place. You will likely find yourself naturally slipping into a state of forgiveness as you understand now why things were the way they were. Sunday, this is your opportunity to rest and rejuvenate this week. Check in with your body to decide what it is that you need to feel your very best. Is it possible that you need a massage, a change in nutrition, or maybe just a great nap? Whatever it is, don't hesitate to invest in yourself. That's good advice for everyone. All righty. And then, of course, this is the last magazine of the month always throws the very last sale in too. So this is the last week of my time-based session sale. This was on a 20-minute time-based session. It's my gonna go back to school again sale. It's a 20-minute time-based service, and it's for parents. So if you have kids that are going back to school, if you want to do a check-in with me so that we can look at things like learning styles, energy, empathy, social and friend considerations, and anything else they need to have a successful year, pardon me, then let's talk about it. So I'll put a link to that in the chat room as well, but you can find it in my readings over at when2listen.com. Okay, crystal guidance. We get our crystal guidance every week from Christy, who, among many other things, is a master crystallologist. And the crystal she brings to us this week is hypersethine. Hypersethine settles the mind, creates a sense of calm and safety that allows deep reflection and understanding. Now remember, this week is all about the spirit and feeling spiritual. Excuse me, I think I need some Osha root right now. Deep reflection and understanding of spirit. That's what this week is about. Hypersethine is a perfect stone for that. And then Christy also brings us the card from her Energy Oracle deck every single week. And this week it is the Black Panther. Black Panther, the primary message is protection, deep emotions, spiritual development, and truth seeking. The challenge is fear, emotional avoidance, arrogance. The crystal is hypersethine. And the meditation is, Dear Black Panther, please protect me and guide me as I go deep into myself to find my truth. So there you have it. That is the card from Christy's deck this week. And if you haven't picked her deck up, you can get that over on her website. Kai brings us, okay, this is a very fun article. It cracks me up. This is a 12-step Virgo program. This is for the Virgo in your life. This is for you if you're a Virgo. And this is for just getting a better understanding overall of Virgos and working through it, right? I will tell you something. Some of the very best women I know are Virgos. Persnicketiness and all. Or maybe you're not one of those kind of Virgos, but you know what? Virgo women are so generous, are so kind, and tend to be so knowledgeable. Now, they may not be happy with your disorganized house, and they may not be thrilled with your, car that looks like a bomb blew up in it, and they'll probably tell you so, but they'll probably also help you with it. Okay, fun article from Kai. Thank you, Kai. And then we have an article from Kelly McLean. I loved Kelly's article this week. It's called "A Funny Thing Happened to Me on My Way to a Lotion Rub Down." I don't know. It's not what you think, but it's a great article. I absolutely loved what she said and what happened. She had an amazing experience. So I hope you have a chance to read that. I really, really enjoyed it. And then, of course, our tip of the week. And the tip this week is one that's near and dear to me because I feel like this is something that sometimes we all need to hear and remember, and something that can be incredibly useful. The tip is, feeling stuck? Throw yourself into service. When you are feeling lost, stuck, or depressed, look for ways to serve others. Service boosts self-esteem, offers perspective, and creates a feeling of well-being. And it does. So if you're having the worst day ever, consider doing something kind for somebody else. If you're just going through a state of the blahs and trying to figure out how to snap yourself out of it, consider doing something for someone else. If you are going through a period in your life where things just nothing sticks, nothing feels good, you're feeling pretty apathetic, get going with some volunteer work. It is so worth your time to dive into service when you don't feel right. I promise. Even if it's small things. Maybe you don't commit to doing something every week, but maybe you do something kind for your neighbor. Maybe you walk your local walking paths and clean up trash. Maybe you just do random acts of kindness at the coffee shop or the drive-thru or wherever. Maybe you make it a point that you will watch for people that need your help wherever you are and be the first person to dive in and help them. Whatever. But service will help you feel better if you need it, I promise. All right, then we have Brittany's Divinity. Brittany's article this week is about wealth. What makes you wealthy? What doesn't? Really talking about unraveling the true meaning of wealth. I really appreciated it, Brittany, because I'm with you on that. I may not have a giant financial boon in my pocket, but I have an awful lot of wealth in my life when it comes down to people that I care about, and a warm, comfortable home, and my pets, and my kids, and my clients, and my work. I am wealthy beyond measure. I know that. All right. And of course, we have an article from Dr. Elisa. Elisa, of course, is fairly new to the magazine, but brings us a really thought-provoking article every week. And the title of her article this week is, "You have the right and need to define your own boundaries. Be the guardian of your own sense of self." Oh, the dreaded B word, right? Boundaries. Some of us are so terrible at them. So take a minute and learn from Elisa. She's got some good advice. And then our Magic Monday message always comes from Melissa Caprio, and it is a beautiful postcard this week called "Love is the Key." Perfect. Alrighty, and then lastly, of course, we have our master from Anita and the Masters, and our master this week is St. Catherine Labor. Okay, St. Catherine Labor of the Miraculous Medal. It's a really interesting story. Definitely take a look at that. So that is the magazine this week. I hope that you guys find some things in there that are of interest to you and edify you and help you to dive deep into this spiritual week that we're having. So pretty good stuff. And as always, thank you to everybody who helps make Luminous possible. I appreciate you all very much. Okay, I'm going to take a quick dive into the chat room here. Oh my goodness. We scored a bunny in the chat room. I forgot to post pictures of my animals. And so I asked Scott if he had a minute, if he would do it, and I'm dying because he really came through. He's actually in the back. I wondered what he was doing. I can see him in the backyard from my office, and he was in the backyard chasing down all of the piggies and everybody back there so that he could get their pictures. So if you're in the chat room, I will tell you about all of these guys as we go. Okay. But I'm seeing lots of your fur babies in the chat room. You guys are the best. Alrighty, let's go ahead and do our reading for the week. And once we have done that, then we'll go ahead and dive into animal communication. Okay. Pulling cards first. This, of course, is from my Ground, Bless, Protect, and Move deck. You guys, this is the deck that I created with my sisters. You've all seen it. I really like to use it to do a weekly reading, to give everybody a few thoughts about some extra spiritual self-care. I think that's really important business. So, okay, here we go. I'm laughing because I pulled a duplicate card, but that must mean that we mean it. All right, the first card is the ground card, and the ground card this week is draw, which is awesome. Draw can be doodling, it could be coloring. I really love this adult coloring book sensation, and it makes me laugh because yesterday I was looking in a drawer in my office for something else, and I came across Jamie Dawn's coloring book from her Evolutionary Revolutionary book and coloring book set, and I pulled it out thinking, I'm going to put pen to paper this week, and even if we're just relaxing watching TV at night, I really want to color in that book. So anyway, good thing, because the ground card this week is draw. Draw, color, put your hand to paper in some way. Very grounding activity. Using your hands to create is an incredibly grounding thing to do. All right, the bless card is the throat chakra. No wonder I'm so hoarse. I apparently need a blessing. All right, so to bless a chakra, you do it yourself. Put your hands over the chakra that you want to bless. I know that looks like I'm choking myself, but I'm not. Put your hands over the chakra you're blessing. Take a few deep breaths and tune in. And then speak or say in your heart whatever it is you want to bless that chakra with. So for my throat, I would like to bless it with health, with clarity, and with clear communication and connections to the ones that I love. You say whatever it is that you want or need from that chakra. And then you seal it with, I seal it. I always like to anoint my blessings with an essential oil. So you basically would just take one drop of an essential oil and swipe it across that chakra. I really like lemongrass for the throat, but if you have something else that you want to use, of course, that's completely fine as well. Okay, the protect card is the white light shower card. And of course, this is a really easy activity, but this is a great way to protect your energy body. A lot of people just do this one while they're in the shower, but go ahead and I'll teach you how to do it. So close your eyes with me. Take a few deep breaths to get grounded and centered. And then imagine a cosmic shower head pouring white light from the universe over your head, completely permeating you in iridescent white light. holding space that this light will protect you from lower vibrations, from psychic attack, from any frequency that isn't in your highest and best interest. And I usually like to keep it running until I can see that energy puddling up at my feet. Like I know that it's completely covered me. That's an easy way to do it. And again, a lot of people do that in the shower. That's simple enough. So you do you. All right. And then our move card is meditate. So not a whole lot of movement this week. It's about meditating. Unless you're a moving meditator, and maybe you are. Some people do not do sitting still meditation very well because they need to be in motion, and they do better with meditation in motion, like walking, swimming, some kind of physical motion. So you decide, but get some meditation time in this week. It is the week of spirit after all. But what made me laugh about that is that the boost card this week was also meditate. So by God, we mean it. You have to meditate. Your brain is running at hyperspeed and it's time to slow down and focus. Give yourself 10 minutes of meditation time daily to stop the madness. Meditate however you want, you guys. If you need some thoughts, go to YouTube and type in guided imagery meditation. You'll find a gazillion of them. That's a really easy way to do it. And it's a way to just find some maybe different kinds, some different things about meditation you've not done before. If you want to try something else, do a little studying. Maybe do a mantra meditation with a mala. Maybe, again, try some kind of moving meditation. Guided imagery is always a good one. Maybe you just do a little daydreaming on your bed. They all qualify, right? But basically, it's electronic free time. It's just time for you to go within your spirit. That's all. Very good. Okay. All right. So that is the Ground, Bless, Protect, and Move reading for the week. So I hope that you guys can benefit from that. Okay. So again, it is Animal Communication Week. So I'm looking for your animal communication questions first and foremost, and if we have time, we may get into some other questions as well, but that's where we're going this week. Okay. All right, Helen says, I know today's Animal Day, so I've come with an animal question. This is our new family member, Bailey, who is the birdie mama, plans on naming this bird Zucchini. Birdie has lived with us about 3 days so far. We are really new to this, but we did receive lots of advice from the bird store. I have a couple of questions. One, if it's possible, is this a female or a male bird? And two, are we doing okay so far? I mean, is our bird fairly content? Helen, I've seen your pictures of him on Facebook and he's so cute. He's a conure of some sort, I'm thinking. Okay, let me tune into him. See, and I just keep saying him. I really feel like he's a male. I think you've got a little boy on your hands. He is adoring Bailey. However, don't let Bailey be the only person who handles him. It's a big mistake. Birds imprint on one person and can be incredibly naughty to everybody else in the house if we allow that. And so you need to handle him too and be a part of his care so that he also sees you as someone who's a caregiver. And it wouldn't hurt if Vic was as well. Like, everybody needs to have a role in helping to take care of him so that he doesn't do that, because that can turn into a pretty rough deal. Now, if he's mostly bonded to Bailey, that's okay. Because I have to tell you, I feel like at some point when Bailey gets out on her own, he's going with her. I feel like he'll stay with her into adulthood and be her bird for a really long time. But for as long as he's living at your house, everybody needs to have a role with him. Take it from me. It is really important that you do that. Now, let me tune in with him and see what his contentment looks like. Oh, he's so much happier than where he was. He didn't like where he was before he got to you guys. So he's really, really happy. He likes his cage. He's liking his food. He really is happy with fresh stuff. Happiest with fresh stuff. And he's going to need plenty of toys. I'm not sure what the toy situation is, but he's going to need plenty of things in his cage to entertain him because he wants to play. He's going to be a little clown. I feel like his little personality is just starting to emerge for you guys. That can actually take 6 months, especially because he's not very old. But at any rate, this is going to be really fun, Helen. You guys are going to have such a great experience with him. So, yay, little zucchini. Welcome to the family. Okay, let's see. Denise shared a picture of Ben the bunny. Denise, I love it. I'm so happy we got a picture of a bunny today. He's an albino with big pink eyes and his cute pink ears. He's absolutely darling. And you can just tell looking at him how incredibly soft he must be. What a little doll. Now, Scott shared a picture of my Skippy John Jones. So Skippy is the oldest animal at our house. He has been my little doll and my little companion forever. When we had Healing Hands, he went to work with me every single day and had a bed in the corner in the store and absolutely adored the customers. Many times he'd have to go in with me in sessions. If I didn't let him in the door during a session, if he wasn't, you know, around, before long he would be at the door and I'd have to go and let him in. Many times he made my clients hold him. And I've heard from people a million times, is this the dog doing Reiki? I'd always laugh. They'd say, I know that's a stupid question, but I feel like there's energy coming from him. And there is. He's just a gifted little love, a gifted little healer in his own right. Years ago, I had a reading from Anita Ahusha. You guys know Anita. She's an advisor at One Two Listen. And Anita said to me, tell me more about the black dog with you. And I said, oh, his name is Skippy. He's a Chihuahua. And she said, wait. He's in the physical? And I said, yeah. And she said, oh, I was seeing him in the spirit form. She said, you know, that animal soul has been with you for quite a few lifetimes and is a part of your soul's work. And I did know that, but it was a nice confirmation from her. And he's actually been with me a few times in this lifetime in different little darling bodies. But anyway, he had to go to the vet last week for a checkup because he takes a seizure pill twice a day. And he has to go for a checkup once a year so that they'll renew his medication. And he's 13, so when you go to the vet, you're always a little, you know. And I really felt confident that they weren't going to have any, bad news for us. I felt like he's doing amazing. He hasn't had a seizure in a year. You know, he's eating and drinking like a champ. He plays, he runs. He's a little blind and a little deaf, but he's 13. We'll expect that, but he's doing awesome. Anyway, so they did blood work, and all of his blood work that was so scary last year has completely fixed itself. He's totally fine. No worries. The vet said he anticipates this little guy still has a few good years left, so at least. So I was really happy to hear that and glad that, it is as well as I thought it was and hoped it was. But also he was the belle of the vet. The vet techs adored him. They went on and on about how tiny he is, how cute he is. He weighed in at a solid 5 pounds. And now what a little sweetheart he is. And he is. They took him to the back to draw blood and they said he was so nice about it. And wasn't naughty, wasn't nippy at all. For them. If I tried that routine, I would have gotten bit. I can't even trim his toenails without a fight. Christy posts a picture of Nini. This is her rescue. She's a dachshund that came from people who were breeding. Poor Nini had had a few litters, had lived her life in a crate before she came to Christine Ronda's a year ago. And she was a biting, sassy, naughty lady. And fast forward a year with lots of energy work, lots of love, lots of boundaries, and lots of patience. And she's not doing that stuff anymore. And she's amazing. So here she is in a much happier situation because Christy and Rhonda chose to rescue her. And then their kitty, Mimi. Mimi's the cat who likes to do hair. She wants to get on your shoulders and do your hair. It is a trip. And she's also the cat who pees in the toilet. Was never trained to do it. She just does it. I wish we could bottle that, right? Like we could get all cats using the potty. That would be amazing. And then, of course, Christy's Zizi. She's a red Chiweenie that is one of the wildest dogs I have ever met, and an absolute doll. And then Scott provided us with a picture of Rico. Rico is one of mine. He is our little doll. Rico is, well, he'll be 5 years old, actually, here in a couple of days, or in a couple of weeks, he'll be 5 years old. Rico is also a Chihuahua. He's a deer Chihuahua, and is just the sweetest little dog you can ever come across. He's sassy, and if you're holding him and one of the kids thinks that they're going to tickle you, they're definitely getting attacked because he's really protective. But most of the time, he just wants to be held. He's an absolute doll, and he likes to get right here on your chest and put his heart right on your heart and hug you. He gives the best hugs I've ever had. Now, Christy's kitty, Spree. I almost don't want to hurt Spree's feelings here, but I'm going to tell you guys, Spree was spayed a few years ago, and there was an additional charge on their vet bill for obesity. Spree's a real happy cat. She's a really well-loved cat and an extremely well-fed cat. And the vet had the nerve to put an obesity charge on her bill when she was spayed. How rude is this? Oh, my stars. Okay. Okay, Renee has Teddy. Oh, my goodness. So this is a kitty. He is huge, Renee. Maybe it's the angle of the picture, but he's a big cat. He's an orange tabby. He's absolutely gorgeous. I'm just having fun with your pictures, guys. Scott posted a picture of Blue. Blue is our Basset Hound Corgi cross. And Blue has one blue eye, obviously. When our Basset Hound had babies on accident several years ago, she had one baby with a blue eye, and I couldn't part with her. She was just too special, so little Blue stayed at our house. Brett wants to know if Tide Pods are not good for you. Well, I have to tell you that our pig found out the hard way that no, you're not supposed to eat Tide Pods. But Fiona actually won the Tide Pod challenge a few weeks ago. I talked about it on the air, so some of you guys heard the story, but she bit into 3 Tide Pods in Micah's suitcase and had Tide all over herself and the floor. And we had to put her in the sink and spray her down with the sprayer to try and get it all off of her face and give her a few big bowls of milk to try to offset the, the possible, killing her type things. Anyway, she's fine now. She was fine then. Scared me half to death. But yeah, she won the Tide Pod challenge. Oh, Elizabeth shows us Bumper, her adorable little dog. Is he a Shih Tzu, Elizabeth? He's so cute. He has the worst allergies, she said. You guys want to know something? I have felt like the last 10 years or so, I've seen more allergies in my client dogs than I've ever seen before. I have wondered if and some of it is food. It's a lot of it's environmental. Like dogs are allergic to grass or allergic to buckwheat or, various grasses or other environmental factors. I think it's really interesting that we're seeing so many allergies all of a sudden, like the last little while in our animals. A lot of animals that I know now being treated, actively treated for allergies. And food allergies, of course. Then Scott shared a picture of Harley. This is our old mama. She's 12 years old. She's a Basset Hound and just an absolute love. Wants to be loved or fed every minute. Then Scott shared a picture of Fiona outside digging in the dirt. You can see that's why her snout is absolutely filthy. Golden, our golden retriever, golden lab cross. Golden, who snuck out a bedroom window last night and ran the neighborhood. And when I opened the front door this morning, there she was, Scared me to death. I hope she didn't do anything she shouldn't have. Well, she did. She jumped out the window. She's never done that before. I can't believe she did it now. Oh, Annika, she's shared us a picture of a gorgeous kitty named Mr. Tibbs. All white face and then a black body and black head. What a unique kitty. Annika, he is beautiful. And look at the face on this kitty. He is 100% business. Is he judgy? He looks to me like he's the cat that walks around the house judging everyone and everything all the time. He's absolutely beautiful. Okay. Annika said, I took this picture last month. Notice all of the orbs. Some of the feral cats who passed over and stay around the house. Oh, yeah, there's a ton of orbs in it. You know what? Animals never, ever forget kindness that's shown to them, ever. And absolutely, in their moments of, after passing, they will always remember who's been kind to them. Of course, they come back around you. It's really no different than being in a family, with people who doted on a dog or a cat. They come back and visit. And of course, these kitties would still stick around in spirit because they trust you. But that's really sweet. And that just tells me what I already knew. And that's that you've been extremely kind to them. Okay. Helen said, we plan on everyone handling him. This is back to her bird, to Mr. Zucchini. He has quite a few hanging toys, but yes, we plan to get some cat toys today. That's good. Yeah, good. Then I think you're on a good track. I feel like you guys are going to have a ball with him. Having a bird is a lot of fun. The only thing with a bird, if you leave all day and come home, your dogs are happy to see you. Your cats might ignore you for a minute just to teach you a lesson, but then they'll probably be fine. But birds can be pretty distressed. They aren't good being by themselves. And they really aren't good with their routine being broken. You have to keep a pretty constant routine with them or they'll really act up. Carol shares her dogs with us. This is Benny, who's, I'm not sure what kind of dog he is. Anyway, he's white and he has a darling smile on his face. And Brooklyn. Oh, they're so cute. I love it. I love seeing all of you guys as babies. Thank you for sharing them today. How fun. Well, we've got some questions in the chat, so let's see what we can get to here. Oh, I noticed that Scott shared, that just came up, Ziggy the Piggy. So that's a picture of our new little piggy boy. You guys, this little pig is straight love. He is giving me so much joy. He wants to be held. He wants to cuddle. Every time you see him, he runs up. And I have both of our pigs. I did not train them to do this. They just do it. But if you put your fist out and put it down, they'll give you a little fist bump with their nose. And it is so cute. Anyway, our little Ziggy the piglet is just killing us with love. He is so freaking cute. Need to bottle a little bit of that too. Okay, so Christine said that she had to have a tooth pulled. I was at the hospital this morning to have a big tooth removed, so I'm feeling a bit violated. Oh, Christine, and going in your mouth to me is, I honestly will say I would rather go to the dentist. No, I'd rather go to the gynecologist than the dentist. That entering your mouth space, that sacred space in your mouth, I think is incredibly violating. So yes, let's do a little scan, a little healing for you. I feel like you could definitely use it. Oh, and they're also asking me to fill up the hole where the tooth was removed, of course. And actually having the tooth removed is going to make a difference for you. It was a good decision, but that feeling really sucks, I know. All right, so I'm just using white light to just fill up the hole. All right, now some quick grounding and clearing for you. So just grounding your spirit deep, deep, deep into the earth. We'll pull that energy clear to the top of your head and back down the right side and back into the earth. So I can see that reciprocal energy flowing for you. Good. Oh, honey, you're feeling a whole lot better already. I was just letting that energy flow and just let it naturally clear you. because that's all that really needed to happen. You know, I feel like and a reminder to your body and your spirit that you're okay, because it does feel like trauma. It does. I'm with you. Okay. Sorry guys, just scrolling up through the chat room here. I know I had some questions here I wanted to get to. I'm apparently slow at Facebook. Sorry, you guys. I'm just going back through all your babies now. Here we go. Amy says, if you have time, I would love any messages on my reinvestment that I need to lock in by the end of this week. 5-unit or part of larger multi-deals. Thank you. Amy, I feel like it's the 5-unit. The part of the larger multi-deals is not necessarily a mistake. So I think you really could go either way. The hesitation I have on the going in part on a larger multi-deal is the management part of it and the contract part of it. In other words, making sure that you get what is rightfully yours. I have a little hesitation there. I feel some deceit there around business folks that you have relationships with that honestly, I feel like there's a lot of masculine energy here that may not have your best interest at heart. So for that reason, I really am kind of swinging towards the 5-unit that you can, you know, have 100% control on. You'll have to decide what definitely is the better deal, but that's the warning on the larger stuff, is that there's an airtight contract, that you're very clear on the financials so that you are absolutely certain that you get what's coming to you. And then it would be okay. I mean, part of it, it would probably actually be less work for you long term. But those are the hesitations. I don't trust. I'm not trusting some of the masculine energy involved in that project. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay. Scrolling back up. I know I had a question up here I wanted to get to. Eva said, if time permits, can I ask for some energy alignment? My vertigo symptoms kicked in on Sunday. Maybe I can blame that on full moon energies. Yeah. I think you can. But yes, let's do a little work on your behalf, Eva. Do you guys, I do. The full moon usually gets me, usually in a good way, but definitely I've had physical symptoms from the full moon. So Eva, let's take a look. Eva, I'm really drawn to your thyroid or parathyroids when you're talking about the vertigo. And maybe you've already had them checked, but if you haven't, I would recommend that you do. Because I feel like there's something chemical here. So this may call for a trip to the doctor, or probably, I know probably yet another, because I think that the vertigo has been, pardon me, a bit of a mystery for you. You know, and a bit of a mystery patient, but that's where I'm really going, is into your throat. So just be aware of that. All right, so some good grounding. See if we can help just ground that out and get you feeling better. Vertigo is the worst. Good. Good. So that's flowing quite a bit better, Eva. And I feel like you are going to, you know, get a handle on this and get feeling better. But I wanted to mention that Christine had commented that she usually feels dizzy when there's been solar flares. And that actually, solar flares, auroras, things like that, that causes weird symptoms in people quite a bit. So that doesn't surprise me at all, Eva. Or Christine, and I know that you've gone through that a lot, so yikes. But at any rate, hopefully that works out quickly. But yeah, solar flares are ones that can cause all kinds of feeling weird. All right. right, I'm going to jump back down to the bottom of the chat here. Oh, Annika shares a picture of Whisper, a rescue. Oh, what a little doll. And this is Sugar. Okay, Beth says, this is Sugar. I haven't quite figured her out yet. She's a bit of a mystery. Can you tell if there's something she wants me to know? Yeah, let's tune into Sugar. Sugar's a dog. And in the picture, she's chewing on a toy and she's got a gigantic smile on her face. She's absolutely precious. All right, but yeah, let's... Yeah, Beth. Sugar is so hot and cold. And I feel like just when you think you have her trained, then she does something really naughty. But she's hot and cold in affection too. Sometimes she wants it, other times she's definitely standoffish and don't touch me. Sugar's got some serious trust stuff going on. So I'm gonna just let her know that, you know, that you're in it with her for the long haul. Because I feel like some of her acting out really is naughty behavior to just get your attention. So I want to let her know that she's got it and that there's no need for it. I'm also going to strengthen your heart chakra connection with her so that she feels that love and support. I actually think that Sugar is a very, very empathic, sensitive dog that feels a lot more than she can handle sometimes. And so energy in the house, even that comes from media, may sometimes shift her mood or shift her energy. And then, okay, so I strengthen the heart chakra connection. But the last thing I want to do, Beth, is teach you a little connection trick. Dogs have one, or animals have one additional chakra that people don't, and it's called the brachial chakra. And it is right above their shoulder blades on their back. And, you know, a lot of times when you pet a dog, that's about where your hand, or a cat, that's a lot of times where your hand will rest. That is the brachial, and that is a very spiritual point for them. And it's a point where they bond to people and to each other, but it's where that bond can really be strengthened and built. And so it really would behoove you, I think, to sit with her every day with your hand on her brachial if she'll let you, and just use that time to more, you know, to deepen your connection to her spirit and her to you. I feel like that is just one kind of unspoken way to really build your connection to her in that way, so that she can more fully be her, and so that you can figure this dog out, because she's just very multifaceted. And I want her to start getting to the point that she knows that she doesn't need to act up to get your attention, that she's got it, because she does. She's just figuring it out. She's figuring you out while you're trying to figure her out, for sure. So, little sweetheart. Alrighty, well guys, we've done what we do. We've talked down to the end of the show. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you for playing with me today and sharing pictures with me. It's been a lot of fun. I want to ask you to stay tuned. There's a lot more great radio to come today. You can find me tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific with the Psychic Sisters. And you can find me for the rest of today over at 12listen.com. You're listening to 12 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.